So if you're anything like me when I first started out, then you're probably juggling between a day job, spending time with family and friends, trying to find time to sleep and build a YouTube channel all at the same time. So in short, you probably feel like you don't have a lot of free time to be working on a product that someone may not even be interested in buying from you. Well, I've been there, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies that you can use to overcome the two biggest hurdles that are stopping you from getting started right now. So one of the biggest reasons why you might not have the time right now is that you're probably focusing too much time on the things that aren't delivering the most value. So the point is that you need to focus more on the things that are delivering the value or getting you closer to that goal that you need to reach, rather than wasting your time with the things that aren't delivering as much value. So what you need to work out is what is your goal that you need to achieve, and then write a list out of all the things in order of the things that are taking the most amount of your time to the least. Now look at those items and give each one a weighting number. So this number represents how much impact does this have on actually getting you to achieve your goal or getting you closer to whatever it is that you're trying to create. So you do that by right now focusing on the top 3 items which have the largest impact on getting you to that next step. This is basically why if you don't have a really clear vision of where you want to go, so if you don't have goals or a direction of travel, then you're basically going to be wasting a lot of time working on something that you have really no idea where you're going or what it is that you're trying to achieve. So the point is that if you have a really set focus point of where you want to go or what you want to achieve, then you can really highlight the things that you're doing which are delivering the most impact. So for instance, if my goal was to make a course, then I need to be focusing on that as my priority. So the things that are going to get me to that next step. So I might be focusing on creating a course structure, or doing my validation process, or drafting some sort of script for the videos in that course. Now, it doesn't mean that the other things are not as important, but if you only have a few hours that you can spare each day or even each week, then you need to use those as effectively as you can in order to reach that goal as quickly as you can. The other mistake that I've seen a lot of creators do is they try to start by creating a massive course. So this is what I call like a flagship course. It might have 5 or 6 modules. Now I have a couple of flagship courses, so they're big modules. Now those take maybe 8 to 12 months to actually put together. So that's a lot of time that you need to come up with in order to create a product. Now, if you're doing this part-time, that may take you a couple of years to create something like that if you're just doing it on the side. Now, what I recommend for anyone starting out is to create a mini course. So a mini course is something that's say 5 to 8 videos, and they're anywhere from around 8 to 15 minutes in length. So it's a much smaller focused course that is going to solve a very specific problem for your target market. Now you need to go through the validation process, and I have lots and lots of videos on this channel talking about what that validation process is. If you want to learn more about that process, then you can watch my free mini workshop down in the description below. That'll walk you through actually how you can validate your idea, ask your audience the questions like what are they actually struggling with, how you actually go through that process, and then come up with a solid idea for a product or a mini course that you know people actually want and is going to sell. So a really focused mini course is something that you can put together in a matter of weeks. So it's not something that you're going to have to commit 12 months to up front just to get to a finished product. Now, most likely if you went down that path, you're going to burn out. So you're never actually going to reach that goal because you just keep putting it off and off. By starting with a mini course, what you're actually doing is you're creating something that can be a quick win for you. So it's not only a quick win for your audience, but it's something that you can basically tick off your checklist as reaching a goal. So once you've created your first mini course, you might like to create another one. Now, eventually, if you create a bunch of mini courses, you already have a flagship product that you could sell and bundle all of those together. So you could think about it as breaking down a big flagship course into smaller sections that you can offer directly to your students, and something that you can start generating revenue straight away from very quickly. The other thing that I learned was critical when I first started out and I was working a full-time job and I was trying to do all of this on the side, is that you need to break it down into small steps. So that might be creating your script, then actually filming the videos and then editing, and then actually creating all the marketing and uploading it onto the website. I then recommend breaking each of those down into smaller and smaller steps. As you finish each one, you can then cross it off your list and you feel like you're really taking that next step towards achieving that goal. Once you can kind of see the whole thing laid out and planned out in front of you, it makes it much easier to start breaking it down into small steps and know what you need to do next, so you're not wasting your time working on something that isn't going to have very much impact on that final product. The other hurdle that a lot of people struggle with is something called the imposter syndrome. Now, you've probably heard of this before. It's really common with us creatives. It's basically when we doubt our own expertise or abilities or feel unqualified to teach that particular subject. Now, I personally suffered a lot with this when I first started out in the creative industry, because I'm constantly putting my creative self out there through my videos and different tutorials. Now, that does get easier as you go on, but something that really made me click was I'd always be watching other creatives in my same sort of field or space. And I was always looking at what they were doing, and I was always comparing myself as far as my skill level to where they were. Now, it really clicked for me when I first started my YouTube channel that you don't have to be the best at something in order to provide people with value. Now, I like to think of it as a sliding scale. So between 1 and 10, 10 being like an expert level. Now, you don't have to be a level 10 in order to offer people of 5 and below value. You can be a level 6 that's offering everyone below you value. Now, you can put this in perspective by looking at your own achievements. So maybe you already have a small social following. Maybe that's only a handful of people. Now, you have to remember, why are those people following you? Now, it might not be 1 million subscribers that you have, but it doesn't matter. You've shown that there are a handful of people that are getting value from whatever it is that you're offering. Now, I can tell you from absolute experience that the subscriber number does not equal how much money that you're going to be making from your channel. There are plenty of people that I've seen with only a handful of subscribers making a lot of money versus people with millions of subscribers that aren't making very much money at all. Now, making money shouldn't just be your main goal, but you'll find that if you can build a deeper connection with your audience and really connect and understand what it is that they're struggling with or what they need help to solve, what sort of issues they need help solving, then you'll find these people want to build a deeper connection with you and continue to work with you on a larger scale. Another way of helping with the imposter syndrome is to focus on the areas where you maybe don't feel that your expertise really are. So you can do that by simply absorbing more educational content around that topic online, or taking a course or anything like that to help educate and build up more confidence in that particular area. This again is why I recommend starting with a mini course, because you want to focus in on the area that you do feel like you have the most confidence in your expertise. Now, creating a course or a mini course does require effort and requires time. It's not something that you can knock together within a few hours. But as someone who makes my entire living from selling courses online right now, I can tell you that yes, there is a bit of sacrifice and time needed to set all this up at the start. But once you have it up and running, it essentially just becomes passive. So once you've got a digital course, it'll just continue to sell in the background. Now, if you want to learn more about this whole process, then I recommend watching this video next. And that's going to walk you through all of the steps that you need to take in order to create your first $10,000 product. Thanks for watching, and I catch you in the next one.